I'm humbled today. I'm emotional. Really simply, I'm stumped by the words spoken about me. I'm a very ordinary man, a very small person. I refuse to accept that I'm an intellectual. I refuse to accept that I'm a scholar. I'm a very ordinary person. I would like to go to the memory lane, and it will be a quick fire discourse, not a long speech I'm going to make. I was a student of science with physics, chemistry and mathematics. And from science, I traveled to arts, did my English honors from St. Xavier's College of Ranchi. And I owe my existence to two fathers and one mother. I would like to remember him, Father Lawler, an Irish father. Whatever English or little bit of English I know, I owe it to Father Lawler, G.P. Lawler. He was a great man. And then Mother Xavier, an American. And then another person who was not a man of English, but a man of physics. Simply, he was stupendous. He has left very soon. Father Brother. He was a man of physics. He was a physics professor, but he showed love on me also. From there, I went to Ranchi University, did my MA, and studied there. Then I joined the college, as was told in the beginning. Then, and in the school days only, I had started writing, because I had finished all the classics in Hindi, Urdu and English by the time I had reached my BA standard. And from then on, I started writing, bringing journals. But I was not in theatre. I was only a writer. But the moment I joined, actually my father was an engineer and he wanted to make me an engineer. And so in order to make me interested, he gave me a book, How You Can Make a Bituminous Road. Mr. Garg must be knowing what is bituminous road. And I was thoroughly bored by reading that book. I said, I am not going to read bituminous road. What is that? And then he explained, the Ranchi overbridge you see, it is bituminous road. You should go. You should read that book. It's very important if you want to be an engineer. And almost I was admitted in VIT. But I had to run away from the house to convince him that I want to read literature. I don't want to read bituminous road. And I don't want to become an engineer. Please excuse me, though I am son of an engineer, civil engineer. So I studied literature. I was good in Hindi, I was good in Urdu, but I decided to study English. I studied English and I fell in love with English literature because it opened my window of knowledge. And from then on, I carried on, teaching and teaching and teaching. And so there was no diversion, but simply because I was writing short stories and plays, I decided to stage plays. I decided to recite poems. And in the meantime, I came in contact with several poets of foreign origin, like Ginsberg. That was the period when the whole younger generation was getting influenced by Regis Debris, by the philosophy of Regis Debris. And we were a member of Hungry generation. It was a sort of cultural revolution going on. That was the beat period. And we were in contact with hippies. Rather, I was in contact with hippies. I was in contact with beat poets. And I was in contact with Hungry generation. And sometimes We called it in Hindi Bhukhi Pidi. And then from there on, I went on to Pune Institute to study film because this was a scheme that one who has done so much of plays and all, he will be selected for Film Institute of Pune, and so I went there on government scholarship. I studied there, and Shyam Benegal was my teacher, Saeed Mirza was my teacher, Guljar Saab was my teacher, all these great personalities, they were my teacher. And then I came in contact with a boy called Lukun. He was a tribal boy. He said, all the time I read your literature and your poems or your short stories. You are not writing about tribals. You are living in tribal land, but you are not writing about tribals. You are only writing about the middle class society, which we call mainstream society. He took me to the jungle. I stayed in the jungle. I stayed in the commune, tribal commune, and then I fell in love with it. And then he said, I'll write stories for you. I'll write poems for you. And rather I will make film for you. And out of love, I wrote that script called Akrant. And then the film was made. It's impossible. Film making is impossible for a middle class man, for an ordinary person. But somehow it clicked, and I was living in Bombay, and I was on extraordinary leave without pay. But even then, I could complete the film, and it was premiered on Doordarshan, winning several awards and all. And my interest in tribal life grew, and I'm doing a major project also on tribal literature. And from then on, I've been writing stories which concerns tribals of Jharkhand and tribals of other areas. Now, my other interest, other than film and theatre, human beings. I love human beings. I want to be with them. I don't have any hypocrisy in meeting anybody, whether he's a minister or an IAS officer or a menial staff, I don't like this word menial because it is racial, but even then because you won't understand what I mean. So for them, for me, everybody is the same, was students, and I have remained socially aware, socially committed. And because I am socially committed, because I am socially aware, I would have loved to be with the students, loved to be with the tribals, loved to be with the downtrodden. And after retirement, as Mr. Garg said, another innings will start. I'll work for them. Rather, I will work with them. I'll be writing stories, novels, poems, dramas, films, and now I come back to Central University of Jharkhand. Very interesting. In 2010, perhaps I had applied. I didn't know where Central University of Jharkhand was located in that time. I didn't know anybody. I only heard the name of our Vice Chancellor, Professor D.T. Khating, and another name, Ankush Bhuiya. I didn't know anybody, not personally, but I could read them in the newspapers. Their names used to appear in the newspapers, and I knew the names, but I knew nobody in Central University of Jharkhand as such. And in the interview, I still remember our Vice Chancellor asked me only one question. Do you have any administrative experience? I said, no, I don't have. I used to be in certain committees like cultural committee or some committees, if you call that administrative, but I don't have any administrative experience. That's all. That was the only question he asked. And that day, I was very disturbed that because I don't have administrative experience, I might not be taken in. And I am speaking out the truth today, the whole night I was sleepless. Because he asked me only one question. Do you have administrative experience? And when I said no, he just dropped his head. Anyway, when I had forgotten about that interview, because I knew that nothing is coming out, I'm not being taken in, suddenly, all of a sudden, I got a call from Mahanta, Mr. Mahanta. And he said that you have been selected in Central University of Jharkhand. You can come and join. I was very happy, to tell you the truth. I was very excited. And after 2-3 days, I got the letter also that you have to go through this medical certificate and character certificate and all. Okay. Then, it is another thing that when I joined Central University of Jharkhand in the Department of English, I was grilled by one lady for half an hour. It was another interview because I was already grilled for full 1 hour in the interview. And so many questions were asked. And in the department also I was grilled by one lady I won't name. Okay.